And hello, everybody. Today is January 22nd, 2020, and you are loved. Today we bring you our Monster Noire game that we usually do only about once a month, so I am glad that we could all reconvene and get back to our shenanigans. If this is your first time checking us out, consider going to youtube.com/indooradventures, where you can find VODs of all of our previous games as well as all of the other games that we do on this channel. We also have podcasts available wherever podcasts are free, so sorry, Podbean listeners. Hope you're not mad. It was just expensive. So, we're not doing that this year. But other things, if you like the show and you want to help support it, consider either subscribing on Twitch or going to patreon.com/indooradventures, where you can also gain access to our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. Or if you're already a patron, you already support us on Twitch, we have a merch store. If you go to Indoor Adventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com, then you can gain access to all sorts of things. We got t-shirts, we got mugs, we have hoodies, we have shower curtains, throw pillows, knee pillows. What do you want? It is there! Redbubble's a good place, and they've been good to us, so suck it, Teespring. Also, we have a giveaway going on right now, so if you are interested, by either following to the channel, visiting us on YouTube, doing all of those things that you would normally do anyway if you're here, you can enter into a drawing to win not only the Descent to Avernus Collector's Edition book that has an amazing back cover to it that's like a gothic mural of Zariel, but it would also include the Descent into Avernus dice set, as well as dice tray and info cards for all things Avernus. Other than that, hey, guess what? The second place winner will win the Collected Tyranny of Dragons special edition book that Wizards released, that not only has our dear, dear goddess Tiamat on the front, but it is actually 2 books in one. So, it's a good value. Other than that, that's it for my spiel. So, let's get into it. Hey, Satan, who you playing today?
Hi. My name's Satan, and I'll be playing Lilith, our vampire mobster femme fatale babe.
All right. And Danae, who you playing?
What are we playing as Ruhaka, an ex-detective. I don't know, she might still be a detective. We'll find out.
And Jen, who you're playing?
I'm playing Beltane Hawthorne, a mobster under Lilith's reign and control.
I am playing as, I am the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I'm going to be playing as Kane. He's sort of a phantom thief. He's sort of new to this whole situation, but we'll figure it out as we go along.
And I'm Greybeard of Greybeard Tavern, and I will be your game master tonight of this interesting game that we wrote in the middle of the evening and played the very next day, and have been playing it now for months. 6 months? Gotta be, right? We got like 9 episodes.
Yeah, something
I think
like that.
We're gonna hit a year of this this slapped together tragedy that we love so much. All right. Questions. Is there anything we needed to wrap up from last time from anybody's plate?
One of the things that I wanted to establish with Kane, he is a good pianist, but he has a mini accordion with him that he uses. It's not relevant to really anything, but I just wanted to establish that he has an accordion.
Is it like a sailor's squeeze box?
It's just one of the little squeeze boxes.
All right, all right. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't some in between the squeeze box and an accordion that I didn't know about.
No, it's like a squeeze
A
box.
Shruti box.
Okay. Sweet. Anything else?
Kane was given a contract, I do believe, by one Beltane Hawthorne. So, let's go over a little bit of what this contract said. So let's see here. We are going to open that file. And it is basically outlining that Kane, should he work for the benefactor, He would receive $60 per week and a bunch of other, well, the $60 was to be paid in gold coin, which Kane had called upon specifically. But to be honest, he's not feeling the contract. He doesn't like the way this sounds at all. Primarily, the notes that he had on it was gold coin. Why is it in capital letters? Are you trying to say that, like, I'm giving you gold coins, but really it's like a type of cheese? I don't work for cheese. I work for gold. Next up, if the contract breaks early, something that was specified in the contract was that the name given freely, being Beltane, would receive something upon the benefactor's part. Do I owe you money if I break my contract?
He didn't specify.
I'm
In
not
fact,
down
he
for
left
that.
it incredibly vague.
And then it says, I choose my own lawyer, you pay my rent, but I'm going to live where I want if I did sign this. And then, where is the Twilight Court? Queens? It doesn't make any sense. You're speaking all sorts of garbage here. And in the contract, it says that you can lie to me, but I can't lie to you, which is worse than employment. That is a contractual lack of trust. And also, we agreed on 65 in gold. This whole contract's bupkis, I don't want it.
And
I have
Beltane
no
would be
input.
happy to negotiate.
I have no input here, but Harker did tell you to stay away from him.
She did. She did.
Also, one extra luck point this evening for the using the term bupkis. My Andaluvian vernacular is heartstrings are plucked by such verbiage. So there you go.
But yeah, so Kane is not going to sign this contract. He's willing to work freelance, but he would be damned if he signed on long-term with these people. You kept him in a house against his will. This is not a Stockholm Syndrome situation.
You can blame that on Beltane. Lilith did not want him there.
Well, I mean, it was more of Beltane wanted to see if he actually read the contract, is why he put 60 gold coins, see if he would actually read it before he signed it. If not, it's more of a double test of, is he smart enough to read this? And if so, we can negotiate.
Look, if we get into any deals, it's verbal, nothing written down, and we do it fair. Those are my terms.
Sure.
All right, I'm not shaking on it. But that's about it. Wing seems worried, but who... I'm sure it's fine. So, that was all
Verbal agreement achieved. No need to shake on it.
The verbal agreement that we just achieved was that we would do verbal agreements from now on.
Sure.
I'm establishing that for myself.
All right, so with that wrapped up, you had gotten rid of Krampus and moved on through Christmas. New Year's comes and goes, and an evening of waxing, waning. Okay, waxing full moon, getting close, a few days from the full moon. Start again. We come in. We're seeing the moon in its nearly full phase. We come down through the clouds and drift over the port, seeing the ocean, the Atlantic out in the distance. And we move across the port. We come around Rovcloft, the port city that this mayhem generally takes place in. And we come by and we see Rue Harker living still in the office.
Yeah, I think so, but she's like working on trying to make it into more of a living situation rather than a working situation. And she's still job hunting right now.
All right, and your gifted cat companion still living with you?
Yes.
Okay.
And that cat's hanging out around her. And every now and then she sees two tails, and then she takes a swig from her flask, and that fixes itself.
It unblurs.
Yeah.
You see two of everything else, but the cat's tail is just one.
Perfect.
Okay, so we come in, we see the now more domesticated apartment above the. It was above something, but I can't remember what it was above. And
I think it was Dewey Cheatham and Howe's lawyer practice.
That's right. That's right. Okay. If it wasn't, that's the great part about improv.
I love it.
The Ravgloff is changeable. Things, the veil does weird things. Stuff changes. So, above Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, move through. We see that Rue is maybe making some dinner or cleaning or organizing some books or something, and she looks over at the cat, and the cat has two tails, and she's like, nope, glug, glug, glug. Big whiskey swig, and the tails come together, and everything else is blurry and divided. We swing back across town, or where is Kane living?
If it's nightfall, Kane is either at a club, just playing jazz as best he can, kind of doing like a bard thing where he's hoping if he plays, people will just keep serving him Manhattans until he's finished, or until the music sounds good anyways. And then if not for that, he's probably out thieving.
But does he have a domicile, a place where he lives?
Last we saw of Kane, he was living above a pawn shop.
Right.
I think that if has it been like a month or two?
Probably. Let's see. It would have been almost a month because we're moving into the new moon phase. So it's like late January.
I would say that he probably would have thieved enough to get a decent enough money to like buy a ramshackle place to himself.
Okay. Like a townhouse or a little Cape Cod?
I want to say, what's a little Cape Cod?
It's a tiny little like 1-bedroom, kitchen, bathroom kind of house. No basement, maybe an attic, possibly a garage, but at this time period a garage would be like, whoa.
I think that he would probably have a townhouse just so that way he could like, actually no, it'd be a Cape Cod, but like most of that space is just like meant for music. Okay. Like it's not like he's pushed all the chairs and everything out of the way and there is just like a small God, what is it? The tiny pianos.
Not a harpsichord, but yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not like a full-sized piano, but he just keeps it there so that way he can entertain himself.
Oh, okay. So wait, is it an upright piano? Like against a wall and an upright?
Yeah, it would be an upright one.
Okay. Kind of like the player pianos you always see in Westerns?
Yes, that is exactly what Kane would have.
Okay.
It might even be one that he, like, it could be something akin to an old Western style piano that he has just found himself the proprietor of.
All right.
I think about the guy from 101 Dalmatians, Roger, up in the
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, perfect. I have one of these pianos in my upstairs. Remind me, and I'll tell a great story in
Nights in the Courtyard.
So we sweep in over the little Cape Cod. Is it green or blue?
It would be like a blue color.
Perfect. We move in. and you're some pseudo jazz thingy you're working
It
on.
is. It is definitely. It's not following along with any particular tempo or beat. He's more just like idly pressing keys, and every once in a while he'll like stumble upon something that he thinks sounds nice, and so he'll follow it for a little bit, and then he'll just sort of like, and then like go back to just idly pressing keys. Like he's not too thrilled by whatever tune he's been making.
And on his and he goes to go back to it. We whip out the window. We fly up and over the hills along the coast over to the estate of Lilith. Wrought iron fence surrounding it, orc guards standing about, and we come on in. Beltane, where are you at?
I'm probably just getting back from delivering 2 packages. One for the detective, a ward to follow through with something I made for her, and for delivering cheese to Kane, and books on how to understand the magical world and to help improve his sight. So a little charm for that. So I've delivered this and come back in and head up to her office.
Okay, and as we see, you shaking off and starting to take that first step up the stairs to Lilith's office, we follow the plush red carpet with the little gold runners up the stairs and swing down the hall to Lilith's office. We are able to go under the door as the audience and move along the floor and come up the desk, and we see Lilith. What's she doing?
She is talking to someone who's in front of her desk. Rosie's behind her, and you see the person in front of them very badly beaten. Um,
In a chair or standing?
on the floor.
Oh, okay. All right. On the floor. Okay.
Yeah. And Liv gets up and like puts like her foot on their chest
Okay.
and says, "The next time you try to fuck with me, I'll put my heel right through your heart."
Okay. Is this a human being? One of your orc henchmen? Who are we threatening?
Someone that tried to mess with her money. It was someone who, outside of her close circle of people, so she would give jobs to like other gangs or other members or like freelancers,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to skim money off the top one too many times,
Okay.
or sell secrets or something like that.
Got it. Okay. So they either went informant on you or they were grifting you, and you decided this had to end. Okay. And they're but I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll pay you back double somehow. Just give me the job. Give me the chance.
One more.
When
Next time. Well, there won't be a next time.
I understand. I totally understand. Just anything. You name it. You're the boss.
Just do your job and do it right. And she like she goes back to her chair, takes her cigarette that Rosie was holding, and tells him to go.
All right.
It takes a long drag.
He unceremoniously like scrambles up and retrieves his hat from way across the room where he got smacked about, and he does a bow, a little curtsy, kind of a mafioso bow with the hat, and after he gets out, then he puts his hat on and it shuffles away down the hall. And I think that's when you hear boom, your doorbell ring. Boom.
What time at night is it?
It's late. Late. Yeah, this is business. So this is near midnight, maybe?
Huh. Tinder, stop it. I think that would be strange for Lilith because while she does work on a night shift, other people don't.
Mm-hmm.
So she would
And
be on guard.
you hear
'cause
little goblin feet running up the stairs. Boss! Boss! One of the goblins is jumping up so they can look at you above the desk. Somebody weird's here.
Weird how?
Yeah,
I got it.
you should see.
Yep.
And they take back off.
She will straighten out her coat jacket
Mm-hmm.
and walk down past Beltane
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like motion for him to follow her. And I think I would have like a peephole.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Is it like a brass little plate that you then look through, or is it a sliding door? Or
It's a peephole that has a brass plate on it.
okay.
So she would slide it out to look.
Okay. You see some kind of like somebody is either holding a lantern or a candle or something, because there seems to be some kind of fiery glow through the peephole.
She will open the door.
As you swing open the door, you
Paranoid.
you just kind of naturally look down and you see these cluster of stone that are sort of like a little two little piles of stone that are there, and coming out of them there appears to be some kind of tree trunks, some weird wood bits and bobs, but it's like bits of bark that are floating together somehow. And as you continue up, where a chest should begin, there's knees, and as you continue up, there's the tree trunks kind of the space between the bits of bark that are together become a little further apart, and in the middle of it is fire. There's literal fire in between these tree bark bits that are all together. And as it goes further and further up, you see these massive tree limbs, and you see basically it looks kind of like a horse skull. Is the face, and it has antlers, but the antlers are actually tree branches, and between the tree branches is a spider web, and the spider web is in constant motion as if there's a wind blowing on it. And the pupils of the eyes appear to be like starlight, like miniature stars, like teeny flecks of stars in complete black void. And a voice says, "Oh, I'm sorry to bother you, but I've heard that you can help people."
It's just like a long drag of her cigarette and just puff up the smoke. She's like looking at this creature. Depends.
I'm your neighbor, Stan.
Oh. All right. Do come in.
Why, thank you. And he kind of takes a step forward, and as he does, he sort of miniaturizes. Like all the bark comes together, and he becomes smaller, and the giant tree trunk arms just kind of come up a bit, and he gets in, and then because you've got vaulted ceilings and whatnot. Then he
Yeah.
expands again, and you can
Bits.
see the fire again. That's kind of his innards glowing.
Yeah.
And I've got quite the problem.
Of course. Why don't we take this to my office? Beltane, darling, this is our neighbor, Stan.
Why?
Hey,
All right, then follow me then.
And the big rock feet, as he lopes along behind you.
look up at Stan. Shouldn't you be sleeping? It's winter.
I know. It's most troubling.
I love this. I love his voice.
So you go into the office and you offer him a chair.
Yes.
And he condenses down again. And you notice that he doesn't actually sit in the chair. He just kind of like compresses his legs together, so he kind of becomes a stump. And it is
I love Stan.
lightly touching the chair to give the appearance of sitting. Now, to anyone else, he's beyond the veil. Anyone without the sight, he looks like probably a 50-something-year-old man in a nice suit. And he's lanky. He's probably 6'6", 6'7" individual, but he's just a kind of in a tannish suit and a nice brown tie, little tweed bits on his elbows. And he says, some of the neighbors have said that you're in more, and he looks ashamed to say it, dubious business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do have a bit of a problem.
Continue.
See, the authorities came to my house and they were most inhospitable.
As they tend to be.
And I may have torn them to shreds.
Oh, dear lords.
Ah,
All right.
This time of year is hard for me. The
I
moon and the
understand.
phase and the winter, they woke me up. And before I knew it, they were in pieces in my yard.
That's actually quite understandable.
The problem is now their car is there, and I don't know what to do with them.
We could take the car to a shop and well, think of the bodies as fertilizer.
Very nice of you.
which do you have a badge unit?
Oh, they're still in the yard.
Fantastic.
We could frame it as something else somewhere else.
Oh, that's very clever.
Once they stop looking, they'll stop looking.
I mean, we can just get some ghouls to do cleanup. That'd be easy.
True. Make sure to keep their clothes.
Yep.
Badges.
Scatter the badges in the river. I'll have the silkies scattered up upstream near the landfill. Yep.
We will have to take the car out. And
So, there was a box in their vehicle, and I heard people talking on it. Kept saying, Unit 9, Unit 9. Bob, what's going on, Bob?
I'll deal with this now.
How long ago was this? Did this just happened?
Oh, just minutes ago.
Oh, perfect. Did anybody see you come in here? Anybody at all?
I don't think so. Though with the veil thinning, it's hard to be out in the moonlight for me.
Perfect. All right. Well, Beltane, dear.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I've got questions afterwards, but yep, I'll go deal with it. I'll race down the stairs towards the car unit, pick up the radio and say, this is Bob. Everything's clear. Good. Check went okay.
All right, give me a moxie check to see if you can pull off Bob's voice.
Bob, who you've never looked at.
Bob.
Never heard, never seen.
Okay, cool. 9.
Oh, awesome. And the dispatcher person's like, well, hey Bob, what took you so long? It was a heck of a long time to answer.
I'll just think from it and say, wild dogs. Got rid of them. All good.
Huh, that's a lot of excitement. Okay, well, we'll see you back.
Tell them you're heading to the river.
I'll squeak on the box. Heading to the river, the disturbance report that way.
Okay. Boy, I sure do love these newfangled radios. You have a good one out there, Bob.
Yep. I'll just hang up the radio without answering. Fantastic. Thank God the detective gave me the ability to lie.
Okay, so you're cleaning up. Lilith, you are sitting with Stan, and he's like, he starts wringing his big tree branch hands, and he's like, I wouldn't expect this to be a free service, or unless you want to be neighborly, but what can I do in return?
What can you do?
Well, I'm in mining and forestry is my business. Or do you mean my powers?
Ours, yes.
When I'm not asleep, generally I could control nature.
Interesting. How about you owe me a favor?
All right. And he puts out a big tree branch hand, like it stretches across the
Yeah.
distance of the room, and you shake hands with him.
Yeah, I'll shake hands with him. It's like, a favor then. For a favor.
Sounds applicable. Should I stay here or should I go home?
Just stay here for a moment while things are getting done. Would you like anything to eat? To drink?
Oh, wood grain alcohol is one of my favorites.
I think Beltane has some of that down in the cellar. I'll go get someone to get that for you.
And the goblin that was talking to you earlier is like looking around the corner, and he like waves a hand like I got it, and then just disappears. For anyone out there who's never seen Monster Noire, I suppose I should have said a few things about the world. One, there is a veil that keeps mundanes from seeing the monsters and such that's out there. The world we've created here is one of supernatural existences, and it is the 1920s, so there is prohibition, and our good friends put things in motion to keep World War II from happening earlier on. I just think it kind of gets you a feel for where we're at and how things happen. They've fought elder gods. They have fought a Dreamland Dreadlord. They've fought a Winter Drake. So these are the kind of things that happen. So a neighbor coming over is sort of a very mundane beginning for this
Mhm.
group.
Yes.
I just want to set that mood and stage because, again, it being a month apart from games, this is sort of where we're at. Beltane, are you doing cleanup yourself, or did you call goblins, or are you trying to get some ghouls?
I'll do a small summoning circle on the ground to call some ghouls and make sure there's a containment circle around the body so they don't escape into the wild. Because ghouls are awful, even to Fae.
Okay. So let's do a brains on that one.
Okay. Cool. 6.
Oh, okay. So you call up the ghouls, and they
You could use a luck point.
I could.
they
I'm going to.
tear into the bodies, and they're eating along, and they're like the bits and bobs are of flesh and whatnot are disappearing. They're gnawing the bones and stacking them, and you notice that one of the badges is missing. It's like the guns are there, and the two bodies of the police officers as you're looking for the pieces of them in the yard, because they were shredded. They were literally like as if scythes, multiple scythes came at them and just sliced them to ribbons and threw them across the yard like sausages. And so, like I said, the ghouls are eating the flesh and piling the bones to take back with them. But you notice, as you're kind of taking mental account, that one of the badges is gone.
Turn to one of the ghouls and place my hand on the circle and say, if you find a spare body that matches these uniforms, bleeding and hurt, you can eat them, as I break the circle.
Okay. All right. And they begin to kind of their noseless faces with just two empty slots start snorking around, and they're following the blood trails here and there in the snow. And they go all about the yard, and they can't seem to find anything. So as they're snorking about, who are you going to get to take the car?
I'll probably do it myself after the ghouls are done, because I don't want Jack, our handyman, to get caught, because if he gets caught, I don't want to deal with more police, more than I have.
You could throw it in the river.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Jack needs some time off. So good
All right.
some time off.
And as you're consternating on this situation, we fade in on Rue, one hand on the bottle, like off the side of the couch. The cat's name was Pork.
Porcupine. Pork for sure.
Pork for short. Right. Okay, good. So Pork is on your chest, purring and rumbling away, and you kind of bleary-eyed, wake up, and like I said, you almost tipped over the bottle. You almost let go of it. What do, Rue? Woken by the rumbling of the cat and the near alcohol abuse.
Near.
Mir? She.
Yeah, you almost spilled some.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, I'll give myself.
And that's the real crime that happened this night.
That's the crime we prevented.
That was cheap rye almost got spilled on that carpet.
That's
okay.
That's
Sorry.
terrible. Is it late? Is it late at night?
Yeah, it's completely dark out. It's got to be, I don't know how much Rue pays attention to time, but it's got to be probably the stroke of midnight, maybe.
I think that somewhere deep inside her, she is skeeved out about the fact that she woke up exactly at midnight. And so she's going to pet the cat and then try to go back to sleep, but there's something that's bothering her. And as much as she hates it, she can't resist the urge to get up and investigate. She's gonna kind of get up and start pacing around her room and like just slide back into her old habits a little bit and like start superstitiously checking wards and things that she has probably swept away long ago. But like there are a few things that are more permanent, like runes carved into windowsills and such.
Okay. As you're checking, you notice there's a package just outside your door.
I was gonna say, don't you have like a burned spell circle on your desk as well?
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Yep.
A couple of swigs, and that right there is just a coffee ring. Like it's fine.
A really big
cup of coffee.
Hey,
she's been working on a doily to cover it up.
So Rue has taken up crochet or knitting.
Of course, I guess. God.
Okay. All right. And but like I said, as you go to check the door, the wards on the door, you open the door and there's a package there.
That definitely wasn't there when I went to sleep.
No. Because again, someone who would come in the bottom door to come up the stairs the bell would have rung.
Oh, that's creepy. She doesn't like that.
It's Beltane, isn't it?
She's gonna look around because she there's probably still blood stains like on the threshold from the last time she answered the door and took a bullet to the gut.
Well, that was the downstairs door. So you look down the cramped hallway leading down to the main door, and it's still good, and your ward on your door is still solid. So it's definitely holding the right of home. I forget what it is, the right of homestead or whatever. That no vampire or other such uninvited can get beyond your threshold, but the package is laying right there.
She's kind of I think that she's not wearing her trench coat right now. It's just like a loosened tie. She's a little disheveled. She kind of like glares down the stairs, and she's going to slide that package in with her foot and just kind of slide it into the middle of the room. And she will take another swig, sit down on her knees in front of it, and then just kind of like listen to it, like make sure there's no ticking.
But you close the door.
Yeah, close the door, of course.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, and Puck comes up, or Pork, sorry. Pork comes up and rubs on the package and like sniffs at it and, rubs on your leg. And it's not ticking, right, Beltane?
No, it's not ticking.
All right. So there appears to be no ticking.
All right. Well, she like goes about this very suspiciously, and she like shakes it and stuff and sniffs it and like looks. Does it have like a tag or anything? Does it say who it's from?
Nope. He actually forgot to put a tag on it this time.
Great.
So it's like brown wax
yeah,
paper
it's a neat little brown paper bag with cute little twine wrapping around it.
May I add something to this package if I can?
Yeah.
A note from Lilith.
Yeah.
Perfect. But it's on the inside.
It's on the inside, yeah.
Okay.
So when she opens it.
She opens it. She does, but it's a very prolonged process.
Do you put it on the desk?
I think that she stays on the floor for now.
Okay. All right. So sitting like crisscross applesauce on the floor, and you untie it and open it up. What does Harker find, Beltane?
She finds a note on the inside. As promised, to blind you to that which you see. the sight vanished, practice, and gone. And there's just a little symbol inside of it, and it's just written in very neat ink drawing. And there's some what you think is probably Welsh wording under it. And then there's another heavier book under it that says Circle Magic, easy practice for beginners. And then Lilith's note, kind of neatly tucked between the ward and the book.
Is the ward a like a pendant or a placard or?
It's like a pendant, like a necklace, just something she can wear under her coat, because he figured she wouldn't want something on her hands or arms or something that would show off what it is. So.
And is it of earth or metal, or is it like a clay or a ceramic or jade, or what's the material of it?
The material is a ash tree kind of like slat, like, those round little carving things. It has a rosemary kind of entwined into it, and there's looks to be like carved berries around it. It looks like hawthorn berries. They're all symbols of protection and warding.
Perfect.
So it's a very strong little charm.
Okay, and Lilith, do you read the note, Rue? Okay, what's the note?
The note says, "Please stop by sometime soon. We have much to discuss. Lilith."
All right.
And what do you do with the pendant?
I think she puts it in her pocket.
Okay.
And she's going to tentatively take the book to her desk and crack it open, making sure again that nobody is watching.
Okay. Beltane, now I'm going to assume that the pendant to be active, you do have to actively wear it, right? She has to put it on.
It can.
I mean,
it can be worn or carried. It's one of those kind of pendants. It's something as long as it's on a person.
Okay, so it's but is it a passive magic, or is it something that you have to accept?
Probably.
Do you have to attune to it?
Yeah, kind of.
I would say for this particular spell, you would have to accept its magic, because it is a very powerful charm and it is barring the world of magic from sight.
Okay. So, okay, Root, you've got the placard pendant carving in your pocket. You crack open this circle magic book, and at first the writing's all gibbledy-goo and symbols and whatnot, and then your sight sort of focuses in, and you start to pick out little bits, kind of like the parts that are real magic and such start to kind of like burn, but like it's gold being poured across the page in certain parts. The magic parts are like become gilded, like gold gilded, so you can see the magic of it.
What
And
is what is in the book? What's it for?
Strangely, the first page on the book that's marked and says, "In case you need to stop someone," and there's a series of dots and then someone, and it's a containment field, and it says useful for fae, demon, celestials.
Huh.
And then the next page is containment field for mortal beings, and it's werewolves, ghouls, goblins.
Tell you what a containment field for a mortal being is. It's police tape. You put that out.
Hey, you can't get past that. That's it. Might as well do a chalk drawing around them. So as we're looking down at the book and this filled in, we look back up at Rue's reaction, and what do we see on her face?
Consternation, I think. And I think that she, like, shuts the book, stands up and like walks back to her spot, and then like just kind of like turns on her heel and comes back and like opens up the book and reads it again. And she spends a good while just kind of pacing and thinking about this, just being a little bit conflicted about the idea of. She likes the idea of having control, but like she's also sworn off this stuff. She wants to get out of the magic business, and I think that throughout the night, she. I want to say that the next morning she wakes up
let's put a pin to keep that.
All right.
As she's walking back and forth, we hear ding, 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 ding. These little like piano notes of her pacing, and they kind of follow her across the room, and then when she turns, they come back in a plinking kind of noise, and as like I said, the you turn and you're about to give up or make your next move to the next morning, and that's when we see Kane at the piano plinking the notes that you were just doing. And Kane, you hear a little knock on your door.
And Kane stops with his piano.
Because it's midnight.
And he looks over at like this half bottle of gin that he is currently making his way through and just, is that you?
And you hear the, again, much faster.
Do you have neighbors?
Are
you an asshole right now?
give me a brains roll.
Okay. Well, that's an 8.
All right. It's okay. The knocking is coming from really low on your door.
And Kane will just go over and swing the door open and just, it's my property, I can do what and he then realizes that he's not talking to anybody straight on. Mm-hmm. So he looks down.
And when you look down, does Kane have the sight?
Not really.
Not really?
It comes and goes.
Okay. You notice that there's a squirrel sitting there. And
I don't got any nuts.
The squirrel
clearly.
The squirrel is like looking at this package that's sitting at your door, and it looks up at you and it squeaks and chitters.
No, that one's mine. Yours is in the trees.
Package, and it like goes to grab on the package.
I'm gonna punt it. I'm not gonna fucking let this squirrel take the package.
Give me an agility.
So that's a 12.
All right. Hold on.
Needed a squirrel.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't one of you guys sending me a Discord message, like in secret. Okay. So yeah, you boom. The squirrel goes whirling through the air, and for a second you swear it's got bat wings and it flutters to a branch. Because it immediately looked like it was going to hit the tree, and then it like went straight
Georgian
up.
flying squirrels all over again.
Some kind. It's so now it was in the branch and it's chittered and it's up in amongst the barren treetop, beyond sight.
As it keeps squeaking at me, there's just a yeah, fuck you too, buddy, and then he like backs into his house and closes the door.
All right. And
I love how he doesn't question that a squirrel was knocking on his door.
He's got a creepy bone hand. Anything could is possible.
True.
I eat gold to stay alive.
You didn't meet all of us.
You have this package from Beltane.
I assume.
Oh, you know note on it, Beltane?
This one actually does have a note that says, "Your cheese. You've impressed me."
Is this
Signed
is this
Belle.
the first time you've sent me a package?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only been like a month.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll read it, and then I'll look inside and see the gold, and I'll take the gold, and I'll set it somewhere like under a floorboard or somewhere like inconspicuous. And then
There's actually 70 gold in it. He bumped up the
Nice.
number.
That's what's good. And so then
Good cheese.
he sees the books, and he looks at the titles, and they seem really complicated. And Indoor would never do this. But Kane just like throws the first one onto his fireplace and just like rubs his hands together.
It turns a horrible green color.
You throw it into the fire?
Yeah, I just throw it into my fireplace.
Okay. The knocking is back at your door.
I swear to God, I don't have any nuts! And he just opens it up and looks down.
Okay. Give me a, I guess, let's say agility.
That's another 12.
Okay. So the squirrel is there, and when you open the door, it whips in, and it's headed right for the book.
Grab the squirrel!
All right. With that 12, you get it, and you're holding, and the squirrel is, you're doing this, and it bites you for a point of damage.
You son of a bitch!
Now you're bleeding. You're bleeding, and you've got this squirrel, and it's whipping around like this.
You are a feisty asshole, is what you are.
Bites you for another point.
I'm gonna go outside and close my door.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw the squirrel.
Okay. Okay.
Stay the fuck out of my house.
Okay, give me a brawn check.
People live here, not for you. A brawn
Poor
check?
squirrel.
Well, that is that's a 7.
All right. You huck the squirrel, and it goes winging through the air, and then it goes and somehow the squirrel's flying, and it goes right to your roof and your chimney, and goes through your chimney.
This little asshole. No. Goes back inside.
Give me an agility check.
That's another 12. I'm really good at agility.
Yeah, I guess. So you slam the door open. You see the squirrel has the book, and it's like fanning it, and it was headed for your door, dragging the book like it was gonna lock you out.
I'm gonna fucking step on its tail.
All right. You stomp over to step on its tail. Give me let's go moxie roll.
Okay. A moxie roll? Well, that's significantly less than what I had before. How can we use luck points again?
Reroll,
reroll?
I believe.
We put a total to it because it was either add the number to the roll or a certain amount you could re-roll with, but
Okay.
I can't remember what it was.
So
I think you could add 1d6 or re-roll both, but then you only have only a certain amount of re-rolls.
I rolled a 3, so I would love to re-roll this.
That's what I remember.
Alright.
I don't know if I'm correct or not.
Why don't, and I'm gonna put it right here on the character sheet. How about you can add luck points to a roll after you've rolled it, or you can spend 3 luck points to re-roll.
I'll spend 3 to re-roll.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's a 5. I'm really not that good at moxie.
Okay. Let me jot this down. Luck at 1 to 1 or 3 to re-roll.
This little
Alright.
asshole squirrel's coming in trying to steal my fire starters instead of eating nuts like it's supposed to.
So, what did you get?
Midnight squirrel. I rolled a 5.
Okay. All right. It stays a squirrel, and it is squeaking left, right, and sideways. It's trying to keep the book at this point, trying to keep the book away from you. Like it heads and drags the book under your chair, under your easy, like a lazy boy, a comfy chair. So it's under the chair now.
And he just looks down at the squirrel and says, "What is your deal? What are you doing in my house, you little ass?"
And you hear it squeak, 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 squeak.
I can't understand you. You are a squirrel.
Break. So
You need to either learn people words really fast or get the fuck out of my house and let me do with books as I please.
all right. No noise comes from under the chair.
I should hope no noise comes from under the chair. That's what the book is, and not the squirrel, right?
And the squirrel and the
Oh.
book went under the chair. Your big easy chair.
Christ, I'm drunk. Okay. That's Kane talking, not me.
Right. Yep.
And he just... All right, how about this? On the count of 3, you come out. I won't stay warm tonight, I suppose. 1, 2, 3.
And
I froze. Can you still hear me?
Oh,
I can
yeah,
hear
still
you, but you're
Excellent.
frozen.
So
Excellent.
you're
There
back.
you go. You're
I
not
don't know
frozen.
why it zoomed in, but perfect.
To scare the squirrel.
3.
Yeah, and you're right there, and the squirrel's like, ah. No, so the squirrel steps out and just dragging the book with it, and the squirrel sighs, and it looks up at you again, and it really looks at you. And go ahead and give me one more moxie.
Come on, you got this.
Wowee. Thank you, Jen. That's 2 6s.
Yay!
I love these dice. They have flowers in them.
And the squirrel appears to be some kind of imp. Oh, sorry, wrong word. Not an imp. Well, you wouldn't know. It appears to be some kind of imp.
Now, what under God's green earth are you supposed to be? Trick or treat time is not for another while.
And it's like, you can hear me now?
What happened to the squirrel? Who are you?
So you can see me. Good.
Yeah, clear as day, you little interloper. What are you doing in my house?
This it's a fey book. You can't throw it in the fire.
A hoobada wada?
It was laying on your porch, and I knew that if you left it there overnight, in the morning the gnomes would snatch it, and then the gnomes would have your fey book, and you never know what those gnomes are going to do with the fey book.
That's a lot to assume that short people are going to do with a book.
I'm just saying, I know
Look.
me some gnomes.
What I want to know is who the fuck are you and why are you in my house?
Well, I can't give you my name, but you can call me
I'm gonna just call you Squirrel. How about that?
Squirrel. You can call me Squirrel.
All right,
Squirrely.
Squirrel. Why the fuck are you in my house and why do you want this book?
Well, I don't want the book. I want you to have the book.
That sounds like a loaded thing. Why do you want me to have this book? I had this book. I threw it in a fire. I'm trying to stay warm. It's cold. We're in like New Englandy times of made upville. And it's cold during the winter, and yet you don't want me to stay warm. You're a dick, Squirrel.
Okay, but my boss has plans for you.
Who's your boss?
And, well,
Can you not say their name as well? Are they like
I
Squirrel Prime?
they're Squirrel Prime. Let's call them Squirrel Prime. That's good.
Have
And,
I met Squirrel Prime before?
No.
Then why the fuck do I care if I destroy this book anyways?
Because they have plans for you.
That sounds loaded. I don't want anything to deal with it.
Well, it's all everything's in motion, and all I got to do is I got to make sure that you get this book.
Well, I have it now, and now it just has some character to it with a little bit of burn.
But you should probably read it. Not burn it. Read it.
All right, how about this? I promise I'll read it in the morning if you get the fuck out of my house. I had a breakthrough.
I have a deal for you. And he wiggles his little little digits at you. How about you sleep and I'll read the book to you?
How about I don't ever make a fucking deal with squirrels and I do my own goddamn business? All of you people, you just want to make deals. I don't get it.
Well, it's what we do.
Well, not me. I might do certain things that allow me to stay alive. And I might play some music, but I do not make deals with squirrels. Or Squirrel Prime, for that matter, lest I know their name.
And you can see it thinks, and then it looks away, and it thinks. And it says, okay, I can tell you my boss's name, but I gotta whisper it to you. And they whisper it to you, and you believe it's a mythological creature. I will Discord you its name. Sorry, other players.
Secrets.
Oops. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Squirrel, I gotta ask you a question.
Sure.
Why do they want me to read this book?
Is part of some little plan that it goes and this connects this, and that's then the a butterfly flaps its wings in Tibet and there's an earthquake. I don't know.
There's gonna be an earthquake here?
No, not here. Somewhere. And I sent you his boss's name.
I see it. I'm as a player, it's one of those like.
And you can say it now if you wanted to, and it'd be fine.
I don't think Kane's comfortable saying the name out loud if they were the person who wants me to make a deal.
Okay.
A fucking imp thing is in my house telling me names, trying to get me to read books, promising to read me books as I go to sleep. I want nothing to do with this. I was just looking to come back, play some jazz, get the band back together, but that never fucking happened. Because Rue's been all moody lately ever since her sister and her fiance passed away.
Got murdered?
They're fucking dead!
Well, the squirrel says, this'll help you find more gold. It'll help you see what is unseen to you, like squirrels that are not squirrels.
If I wanted to see squirrels that weren't squirrels, I'd finish that bottle of gin right now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask politely, may I call upon you if my boss has a job for you that would be lucrative?
No! I am not going to work for the devil, you ass! Look, I might be a thief, but I still have morals, small sir.
Okay. I just thought, that you would
Is
be
this
an
how this
individual.
works? You are no longer welcome in my house?
I'm going to say this creature is not a threat, and hence it can be here.
Okay. So he just says it and then looks at this creature.
and it goes, I'm kind of an envoy.
He pulls out a knife. You are no longer welcome in this house.
Okay, but read the book.
I will, but not because you or the Big L said so. I'm doing it because I wanted to. How about that?
That's great. That's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go, and he points at the fireplace or the
Kane
door.
will grab the book and just open the door. Be like,
Okay.
this is the only time I will open a door for a squirrel. Now get the fuck out of my house.
And they on their little flappy flat feet walk out the door, and they look at the book and they look at you, and then
I motion to that I'm going to kick them again.
okay, and they bend down and turn into a squirrel and lump away.
I'm gonna take this book and go to Ruse.
Okay, all right. Rue, you don't get to have your morning, because
she dies.
No,
Again.
After you're pacing and contemplating, you hear the bottom stair door open and the bell rings, and you hear footsteps coming up the stairs.
I'm gonna go over to my window and well shit, they're coming up the stairs.
Yep.
Fuck. Do I have I have a frosted window?
Are you trying to escape?
Is this this is your office, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's in progress.
So the front of the office does have a frosted window. So the
Right.
outer door would have it. And then your a living space is beyond the front office.
I want to try and catch sight of them before they get in through the bottom door.
When they open the bottom door is when the bell rang. So they're already on the stairs coming up to your door.
Are there any
get my
wards
gun.
in place that would prevent me from knocking on this door?
I get my gun. I get my gun and I go and
Okay.
I stand next to the door.
What is the nature of your hand?
Well, I, as a person, am technically undead.
Okay. All right. Ooh. Rue. Yeah, I would say that, because of the vampiric situation and such, and because you are a conscious being, you could be repelled by her wards. Now, like a zombie or a skeleton that is just a mindless thing sent in motion could pound on the door, break the window kind of thing. But because you're undead with a consciousness, let's say that the ward would work. But you can technically knock on the ward.
I feel like it's a singular knock and then you just hear a "fuck, that's hot."
Okay. All right.
Ah! What the hell? What is there fire in there? Rue, are you okay?
Keys, is that you?
Look, I got visited by a squirrel this evening, and I needed to talk to somebody about it, and I don't know anybody in this goddamn town except for that blue skin man and that really scary lady, and I don't want to talk to either of them right now.
I'm gonna throw open the door and I'm gonna point the gun at him and say something only you would know.
I need you to play horns for me.
Fine, you can come in.
And
Wait a second. Why do I need to give you permission to come in?
I didn't ask for it, but I assume it's okay.
I'm gonna grab his hand and look at it.
okay.
The one that is hot, quote unquote.
So, give me a moxie roll now that you're trying to not have the sight.
I think that examining this book, I forget to take a swig every now and then.
Okay.
Moxie. My moxie is very good. is very nice. So I get a 9.
Okay. All right, Kane, what does she see?
So the hand is bandaged. It has like white strip bandages around it. But when you go to maneuver it, the clip at the base of where it is comes undone and the wrappings begin to unfold, and you just see what look like bones peeking out through the bandages. And it is like a full, like from elbow forward is just bone.
Like, she's gonna touch it to see if it's like actual real bone.
What is... Okay, look, I come over here with a simple ask of, will you play horns for me? It's very
Jesus
difficult
Christ.
to form a tempo without a follow-up beat.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, this whole thing? Don't worry about it. So, there was a squirrel who came to my door. Do you... Okay, so I have to ask. First off, as a layer of trust, I may have stolen a few things. I didn't know that curses were real. So here we are. Now then, I've explained my piece. There was a squirrel. He knocked on my door. There was a package. It had cheese in it. And by cheese, I mean cheese. So, there were some books in there, and it's cold, so I wasn't going to read them anyway, so I threw them in the fire, and then all of a sudden this squirrel starts getting on my case, saying that I shouldn't throw things in the fire, and at first I think, maybe it's the half bottle of gin that I'm down, but then the squirrel turns, and then it ends up being this tiny little monster who's telling me that it can read me the book while I'm asleep, but I don't want it to read it to me while it's asleep, because it looks like it's got like bat wings and a stinger and tiny little grabby hands, and I'm just not about that at all.
What
And then
the hell, Kane?
I may have finished that bottle of gin before I came over here. What I'm trying to say is... I got a weird bubble in my voice when I said that.
Oh no.
There is... I have been contacted to perform a lucrative deal, and I don't want to do it, but they want me to do it.
Contacted by who?
Lucifer, who the fuck do you think?
Let me see that book.
It looks burned. Just pass over.
I'm pretty sure I don't have a fireplace.
No, because you burned the last thing in a trash can that left a big ring on the metal trash can that left a ring on your desk.
As soon as I see that book, I'm just gonna like get very upset. And Rue's gonna.
But it's a book from Beltane.
Yeah, this is not like the red book.
It's not the book. I don't recognize this book.
No, this is just
just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a book from Beltane. No.
I can see you maybe you got all blurry for a minute. And
gotcha.
Then all of a sudden you focus and you're like, okay, this is a Beltane book.
All right, this is one of Belle's books.
I suppose it came in the package. Apparently they hired me. I never accepted it. I'm not going to use that money. It's at my place.
They hired you.
They sent me funds saying that they were pleased with me. I don't even know what I did. I took a
and
bell.
You accepted them?
No, I accepted it into my house. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I said no such thing about accepting this deal as long as I do not spend this currency that I have been given.
You can't talk your way out of this one, Kane.
I beg to differ, Rue.
You can try. You really can. But that's not the way it works with these people.
Well, that has yet to be seen.
Did you talk your way out of this? And she just grabs his hand and rattles his bones around.
Oh, there was no talking involved in that one. To be fair.
Exactly.
Now,
Belle, real quick, what does Puck look like?
Puck is a much nicer version than what he started out as. He's more of a really nice Ford blue painted truck at this point because he
Oh,
found the
not
blue
Puck.
paint.
Sorry, not Puck. Porcupine.
Porcupine.
Yeah.
Pork is just a cute little black kitty, two tails. Unless you
In
can't
his
see
natural
him.
form, he doesn't have the wings.
No. Well, we can say he does because
Well, no,
it's adorable.
I mean, as part of canon, does he have the wings and the two
No.
tails?
He
Okay,
just has the two tails.
okay. So, Kane, as you're talking, you look down and this cat is, doing the cat rubby thing, but it's got two tails.
It's probably just deformed. He leaves it.
Okay.
Doesn't think anything of it.
And at this point, too, we are hitting the
Break.
time.
Yes.
So.
All right. So we are going to go into our 5 to 10 minute break. So I'd like to say, GB, thank you for running this game. I am having a blast. I love Kane. We are going to try and be back shortly. So all of you viewers, don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we will see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. I need to hit the break screen. And we're back. Hello, everybody, and welcome. GB. Hey, cuz. How way?
So we're going to leave the Rue's apartment, go back over Lilith. You're sitting in your study, your lounge, your main hall or whatnot with Stan, just waiting. Are you going to continue to entertain, or what do you want to? How do you want to proceed?
I would continue to entertain as long as it takes Beltane to finish, which don't think it would be too long. Because you could like drive it over there and then teleport back.
Okay.
So yeah, I would offer food, offer drinks, get to know my neighbor. Be very inviting.
And you find out that Stan is in lumber and mining, and I mean, they're obviously well off because they live in like the estate next door.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have the wrought iron fence or whatnot. Probably just a stone fence. It's probably one of the turn of the century type that was a manor house like yours, a mansion. None of this nouveau riche silliness. And I think that's I really don't think he's kind of nervous. And
Oh, that makes Lilith smile.
And so it's taking a long time. Something's up. It should have been faster than it is.
I will ask Stan to go to the dining room. That'll be with him shortly.
Okay.
And I will speak Beltane's true name and call to him.
All right. Beltane, I believe you still retain the power there.
Just listening, I hear my name on the winds, and I'm like, yeah. Push the car into the river. Fucking car. Good car, waste of a car.
Okay.
Just find the nearest tree and phase through it and go back.
Okay. And you walk into the let's see, wherever Lilith called you from, the back veranda, as it were, um, and standing in the blowing snow, imagery wise, and so Beltane, you appear from the tree right there, an old hickory or whatnot, and stride across the snow towards Lilith.
Mhm. Take off my hat and just kind of press it to my chest. You called?
You took longer than usual. I'm paranoid. I admit that much.
It's fine. A ghoul got away, so I ran it back in.
Do you
Ghouls.
tell her about the badge that's missing?
Yeah, I'll tell her one of the badges missing, and I had sent one of the ghouls to find this person if they run off. I wasn't sure how many was in a unit, so covering my tracks the best I can.
And did you find the missing badge?
No,
And
but
was there
I can't pick it up even if I did find it. It's iron.
these things don't just happen by coincidence with how our life has been going for 80 or so years together. I'm going to plan for whatever may be coming. Who knows?
Who knows? Oh, I was reach into my pocket and pull out a letter. This came for you today. You were sleeping. From France.
I'll take the letter and I open it and I read it.
The letter says, survive the front line. We should meet soon. Jean.
Oh, my darling boy. He's doing all right then. It's good to hear from your son every now and then. She'll close the letter, put it in her pocket.
How is your son, Lilith? Is he doing well?
He survived. I'm sure he's working hard, fixing whatever he needs to be fixing. He's a hard worker. I should really tell him to take a break sometime, honestly.
Hmm.
We should go
Probably.
visit sometime soon.
We should. I'd like to see Jean again.
I miss him very much. Now, we do have a neighbor in the dining room. Please take care of that. I'm gonna research. I have no idea, but something's coming because something has always been coming for the last couple months. And I'm getting very tired of it.
Hmm.
Very, very tired of it.
You need a holiday, my dear.
Your last holiday to New Orleans went over real well.
Let's not bring up holidays at the moment.
Of course. I've given a veil closure to the detective and a veil revealer to Kane, so
I still do not approve of him. Do not want him in my house. He does not smell right. Don't like him.
he's a dead thing, yes.
Uh-huh. And for a one dead thing to not like another dead thing, that says something.
It's curious, yes. I
Mm-hmm.
should write to my contacts and see what this is.
Yes. Well, I also wrote to the detective. Hopefully we'll see her soon. We have much to talk about, and I have things to give her.
Best of luck with your gift given. I just kind of part my hair. She left a nice little scar last time I gave her one.
Okay.
No offense,
and
but I'm a little bit faster than you.
Eh. Go
And
deal with Stan.
with the and Beltane goes to turn, and we fade out, and we come up across the floor, seeing Pork, and we move up back to the conversation betwixt Rue and Kane.
All I'm saying is that if you played the horns, then I would actually know what I'm doing as far as this piano's concerned.
Quit trying to change the subject.
All right, so remember when I left town the first time? Well, closer to like the third time, but the last time that I left town. I went down south. There was a museum. I figured they had this like ancient Egypt exhibit thing going on. There was a lot of people coming from overseas. I didn't really think too much of it other than maybe they wouldn't notice a few things going missing. It turns out the things going missing noticed that they were going missing, and I wound up like this. There, are you happy? Probably not. You're never happy.
I'm gonna go sit down at my desk, and I'm going to really look at him. Like, I want to try and figure out what he is now.
Okay. And you sit down at your desk, and you can see, you know how in summer or whatever the road gets those waves of heat. Well, as you're looking over the open book that's on your desk, lying in the circle beneath the doily, you see those heat waves going, and it's all jibber jabber. He's not dead. You were just seeing things.
Listen, Kane, I want you to stay away from those people.
Okay.
But when have you ever done anything that I've ever told you?
Okay, to be fair, I kicked that squirrel very far away, and it flew into my house.
I'm sure he deserved it.
He was knocking at my door. Do you know how late it is?
She just looks at him.
Look, I'm doing my best to keep a low profile and not cause any extra hoo-ha while I'm here. I'm trying to keep things on the level as best I can for what it is worth. But it doesn't help when those weird people from that house on the hill send me packages. I try my best to ignore the package, and then all of a sudden a squirrel's knocking on my fucking door telling me that short people are gonna steal the package in the morning if I don't open up the package now and start reading the book, but I don't want to read the book, so I threw it in the fire.
You know, that all sounds above board. That's probably exactly what I would have done.
And then, what do I end up doing? I come to the only friend I have in this entire city, ask them, what should I do? And the first thing that you do is burn my hand, tell me that I'm dead.
You're not dead. Don't be dramatic.
His arms crossed. Well, what am I supposed to do about this squirrel then, telling me that Lucifer wants to make a contract with me? And no, I wasn't being facetious earlier. That was what the little blighter actually told me.
And Rue, make me a moxie check.
12.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. You don't realize anything different or whatnot. You seem to be able to block out all supernatural everything. This book is like radiating now. Something about putting it in this circle has definitely amped its power up in a way that is unbeknownst to you. I mean, you had the sight, but at this point, you're almost forgetting you had the sight. I mean,
Mhm.
something's going on here, magic wise. Probably even Kane, I would say your hand is even feeling real right now. More so than it has in a long time. And when you look down at the cat, it's only got the one tail. And this book that's on the desk looks too normal. It looks so much like just a normal book that it's telling you something's up.
I'm gonna smack
a
the
yellow
book off the desk.
What the fuck?
Listen, Rue.
I just made that doily.
I don't give a shit about you, doily. I'm trying to be real with you for a goddamn second here. And the first thing that you say is don't get involved with those people. They aren't trying to get involved with me. What am I supposed to do about that? If I get squirrels knocking on my door, if I get mysterious packages appearing in the place that I live, Satan's gone.
Satan's gone.
Satan's gone and now back. And is currently the dungeon master, and GB gets to be Lilith. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with that?
I just got that fourth wall put in. You're making it very hard to live in denial.
Somewhere there's a dragonborn with a nosebleed.
Like Japanimation nosebleed.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, my internet's
Yes, it is. Oof.
That's okay. This is what happens when we speak the Dark Lord's name in vain.
And so you've swiped the book away.
Yeah.
And
I don't give a shit about this book.
so as the book slides off and closes and hits the floor, the circle on the desk goes and it emits like a light around its edges. So
sorry.
all good. It emits a light around its edges to you, Kane, and the cat has two tails again all of a sudden, and the book looks a lot more like the book you got.
Okay, I have to ask something here. And I want you to be real with me and upfront on the level, Rue. Are you dabbling in this hoo-ha?
What? No. Well, not anymore. Stop tisking at me.
I will stop tisking at you as soon as that cat has one tail again. Why is your table glowing? What's all this about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit,
No, really.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Then why were you there with the blue man and that mean lady in the house? Why do you know so much about them telling me to stay away if you don't know what's going on? Why is it when I told you a squirrel knocked on my door, you nodded along like it was the most common thing that's happened in this goddamn town? Bullshit, you don't know anything that's going on here. You tell me right now.
Kane, it's not good for people like me. It's not good for people who can see all of this bullshit going on. And you're starting to understand it.
Seeing and understanding are two very different things.
I don't want any part of this anymore. I have lost too many people and too many things to this whole world. So I'm just done with it.
I don't believe you. Because if you were done with it, then why is it that I saw you walking back and forth in this apartment so late at night? If your lights had been off, I would have left you alone.
She's gonna get up and dust off her doily and put it back down over that circle, just kind of smooth it out. And she's starting to get her jacket on and stuff.
Rue, when you set down the doily and you start to smooth it out, your hand is in the circle, and in your head you hear a way too familiar voice, and it says, "I can make it all go away."
Fuck off!
Oh, that's really rude.
Says rude to no one apparent.
I'm not talking to you. She puts her jacket on really forcefully, and she loads up her bag. She grabs that book. She's got that pendant. She's got those notes, and she's like stuffed them all into her pockets and everything. She's like, listen, I'm gonna go down to Lilith's place, and I'm gonna talk to her.
Oh, I'm not going to let you go alone. She hates me. That's the perfect deterrent.
Well, I have never been able to get you to do anything that I want you to do. So do whatever you like.
And that's exactly why I'm coming along.
I'm going to go and put an end to this. And you know what? She kind of looks around the room. There's too many memories tied to this place. I think I'm going to leave. I'm going to, I don't know, get a new place uptown or something.
You could always just stay with me.
Okay, but it'll be temporary.
Sure it will. I've told that same lie myself.
I go out the door and
okay, as you get to the door,
you get shot again.
That trick worked great the first time. No, as you're headed for the door, you feel the pull of your satchel from the shelf in the closet.
She just goes and she grabs it. She doesn't say anything about it.
All right. And Rue walks back, grabs a little satchel-y handbag thing, and lets you out the door. And
women, folk, and purses.
No.
I beat him with it.
And as you lock the door, you feel the wards come up on the place. Okay. Segue over. Beltane, you're entertaining Stan, and he's please stop. That's way too funny. It's so yeah, okay, I got it back again. That's
I'm glad you're feeling better, Stan. There might be a badge somewhere in your home that one of the officers dropped. If you find it, chuck it. Bury it deep. But I think you can go home for now.
like deep in the mine?
That's perfect. Melt it down, reuse it however you wish. It's yours.
Well, if you think the matter's closed, then I'll head for home. And Lilith, have you come back in at all? Or did you take off to look around and stuff?
She has a bunch of books open on her desk, and she's obsessively reading and taking notes.
Okay. Then yeah, Stan will indeed excuse himself, and Beltane, you can tell he's some kind of elemental, primordial elemental, probably not Fae, probably that from that same dawn of time kind of situation. And he as he lumps out, he turns back, and he waves his tree branch, and the spider webs are still blowing in an unseen breeze between his branch antlers. And he condenses and gets through the door and expands and proceeds to go home.
What a nice tree thing. Shut the door. Take off my jacket, tie, shoes, dress down, because it's relaxing time for me.
Okay. And Rue, do you have a car?
Hell no.
No. So
Could get
you
you
and
one.
Kane- you and how do you and Kane get there?
We hail a cab. God,
Taxi cab.
taxi
Okay.
cab.
It only because of Rovkloff's Denzines is there anything resembling a cab awake at 1 a.m? So yeah, you get the one little all night diner actually has like a cab parked out in front of it, and you go in, and the one cabbie on duty at this time of night is yeah. So Rue, you can't see that he's not a human being, and Kane, you can see that this guy's not a human being.
What is he?
I think he's got to be some kind of a troll, maybe some kind of like some kind of a garbage troll.
He's Trundle.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks like some kind of depression era troll.
I
Is this
imagine
kind
he's
of-
like really big in the front seat with big hands on a
yeah.
tiny wheel.
Yeah, kind of thing where he's spatially he's able to squish about. Now to Rue, he just looks like a really big cabbie, a very hefty individual. And Rue, you walk in and you see the cabbie sitting there. He's just sipping coffee, smoking a cigarette.
In his little cab. Amazing.
No. He's in the diner.
In the diner. All right.
Yeah, but the cab light does say like on duty.
Oh, okay. I'll walk up to him. Gabby.
Yeah, what's up?
What's the name of Lilith's last name?
Molly Hugh.
Molly Hugh.
Montague Manor. You know where it is?
The big house on the hill. Yep.
Montague.
What about
Hugh.
Capulets?
Big
Something like
place on
that.
the
I don't
hill,
know.
you know.
I'm already starting to forget about all this shit. So
Again, with all the supernatural that goes on, and a mob boss being a vampire on the hill, the troll knows. So heck, the cab company might even be in Lilith's pocket. Yeah, you go out, you guys get in the cab, and driving up there, and as soon as he gets in and closes the door, he flips his Zippo and starts another cigarette up, and he's like you said, his hand is huge. I mean, like, covers a whole quarter of the wheel, and he's still puffing away, and the smoke is going about, but you can tell that it's like food to him. It's like he's gaining nourishment from the smoke.
He's a college
from-
student.
vape.
Yeah.
Vape clouds everywhere.
And he's not going to interact or say anything unless you guys do. Do you just ride in silence?
No, I think that Rue and Kane could talk for a bit.
Rue, are you still drinking?
I think that she felt weird about the fact that the case called to her. And so like there's a moment where she gets out the flask, and then she just kind of caps it and then sticks it back into her trench coat.
Okay. Did she top off the flask on her way out the door?
I mean, she did.
Okay. All right.
Better safe than sorry.
Right. I just checking. Also, too, that pendant is in your pocket. You're just leaving it there for now?
She's leaving it there. She hasn't necessarily she wants to talk to Beltane about it before she quote unquote uses it.
Yep. Okay. Kane, any specific dialogue?
Oh, Kane is just going to let Rue know that even before she basically being like, all right, so I'm just gonna let you know it is a 1-bedroom, 1 kitchen. Bathroom is kind of negotiable. It's more of like imagine a loft if it was on the ground and there wasn't anything else around it. It's not really a loft, it's more of just a space. There's an attic though. If you want, I can live up there if that would make you more comfortable. If not, I can live downstairs and then you can be upstairs. We can figure that whole... What?
You got a couch?
I got a piano seat.
Well, you do have a couch. It's slammed against one wall and in a far corner. It's more of a love seaty kind of thing, but
How tall is Rue?
She's not super tall.
All right.
She's under 6 foot.
You'd be able to scrunch yourself in there.
That'll do.
Mm-hmm.
And he just says until they can figure out a more suitable living space, because nobody deserves to sleep on a couch their whole life.
She already does.
She sleeps on the office couch. Okay, so yeah, you guys discuss that. You pull up to the wrought iron gate. There is, of course, this night, Kane, you can see these boys at the gate. They ain't people. They got green skin and tusks. I mean, they fill out these suits like to bursting,
Yeah, there's something not right with those boys. I think they're sick.
Rue just kind of squints at him.
Must be like some kind of bubonic thing.
And Rue, you can tell they're orcs.
I'm gonna kind of nudge him in the ribs a little bit.
Oh, what the hell?
Why didn't you tell me you had the sight?
The what?
That guy right there? She points at one of the thugs at the door.
Yeah, gangrene.
He got green skin.
Yeah, gangrene.
Green tusks.
That's some
That
kind
ain't
of dental work
gangrene.
necessary.
She's lit up a cigarette. That ain't gangrene.
He'll light it for her.
And at the first puff, you notice that the smoke goes right to the troll.
Do I know what the smoke troll is?
Yeah, at this point you see he fills the whole front area of the cab. And,
what sort of knowledge could I spout forth to Kane to tell him that there's a smoke troll?
Yeah, that's a garbage troll. That is a troll that was probably a river troll at one time, but trolls are very malleable. So this troll has probably been eating garbage and pollution for a decade or more.
Just like that cabbie is a garbage troll.
Wow. You can't just
like half
people
the
that.
newsies were goblins before they all got kidnapped by a primordial being that ate my sister. And just like poor Red was, well, he got bit by a dog.
A dog? That's what did him in? A dog bite.
A
Is it
werewolf.
like rabies?
A werewolf.
Those ain't real.
Oh yeah, they
Now
are.
you know why I don't tell anybody.
Says
about
the
this shit.
cabbie. Oh yeah, they are.
Okay, so werewolves, vampires, orcs, whatever that means. Cab drivers are real.
No offense.
Yeah, we are.
And honestly, much appreciated at this hour of the night. The fact that we could even hail you is quite astounding. But
And Ravcloth.
what I'm trying to say is, this is a lot going on right now. I'm pretty sure it's just the gin.
You're a lot, she says, jangling his bones again.
Hey, you leave my arm out of this. That is a one-time situation.
And you get up under the awning with the pillars and the whole front part of the house, and an orc comes down and opens the door for you.
It's a one-time situation that you're gonna regret for the rest of your life.
And
She
it
gets
gets
out
out
of the car.
Harka, says one of the the orcs.
Jameson.
And the other one opens the front door of the place, and standing there is a little goblin in a little suit, and it's like, the mistress is waiting for you.
I didn't happen to see a crashed police car on my way in, did I?
Nope.
By now?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
Your super detective sight. No,
That's your
All right.
Witcher sense.
uh-huh.
Yes. I enter.
Right.
As you enter, Beltane kind of steps into this space and sees you. He's very much the fae that brought immortality to you, and he freezes and is like, shit, and changes over to his blue skin. Has a strawberry, looks panicked for a moment. Hey.
Hey, Belle, got your package.
Great.
How did you get my address?
Hell of a page turner, that is.
Did you? Great. You're not entirely hard to find, Kane. You are literally the only look-through person of your sorts.
Just follow the sound of jangling keys.
They don't jangle. They are played very skillfully, thank you.
Will you play in the middle of the night?
Sometimes.
It's very rude. You have
It's
neighbors.
whenever inspiration strikes.
Right.
If there's
Why are you two here?
music,
well, I actually got a note from your mistress, and I figured I'd come and share some final words before I cut ties forever.
And Lilith, a goblin, had run to you and told you that there was a car approaching. It was a cab, and then the boys at the gate, had the crank phone intercom that they called up and told the house goblins what's going on, that they were there.
Yeah, Lilith will come down, and she has a smile on her face. She's like, "Detective and King."
Fantastic. I'm going to the kitchen. Turn around and leave.
Great.
Kane will do a very flourishing bow, but it's more like, like you can tell he's being shitty about it.
Is his arm still unwrapped?
No, he would have obviously re-wrapped his
Just
dead
asking.
hand. Go into a diner and be like, "Hey, can somebody lend me a hand with a cab?" No, he's gonna wrap that shit.
I assume you got my letter, detective? Or
Dead.
is it still detective?
We'll see about that.
All right. And he's here because...
I
Because I
can't
was
get rid
told
of him.
not to.
Great. Great. Well, you can stay right there in the doorway. Detective, do you like to come to my office?
I am invited.
No. Buddy system. I don't trust you. And he points towards Lilith. I do trust her. I'm gonna make sure you don't try anything funny.
Would
Funny-
you even know what funny is?
I have
Beltane
been
kind of looms over
to
him.
stand-up clubs.
Jesus Christ, Belle, why do you have to do that?
I wanted to see if you wanted tea. He holds up a tray.
I appreciate your concern for the detective, but I
Well,
owe her quite a lot, and I would not try to do anything funny.
I don't believe you. But you seem
Well,
strong, and this is your house, so cheers.
exactly.
Anything to drink in this place? You guys got gin?
There's-
He just
I
starts
was
like
just gonna
wandering
say that
off.
there's a tray of tea that Belle's holding right there.
It has tea, gin, whiskey, bourbon.
I imagine it's like they've been poured into glasses, but there is a bottle on the tray, and he looks
Oh,
at
yeah.
it and just grabs the bottle.
hey, Bluebell, is that freely given?
No.
Yes? Oh, from me, yes. From her, no.
That's fine.
I can't be inhospitable. Don't put me in this position.
Yes, you can. You're part human now.
Ah! He sets it on the tray.
And we follow Lilith's ever so smooth progression up the stairs to the office, with Harker kind of moving along behind with a little smoother gait than they've had previously as they start to straighten out. Satchel in hand. Okay. So you get to the office and Harker comes in. Do you close the door, Lilith? Okay.
Please take a seat. Ignore the blood on the floor.
Going to, and then you mentioned that there was blood on the floor. And now, honestly, it's kind of the only thing I could think about.
And
Don't. It's not food, if that's what you're thinking.
Oh, that's good. She sits down.
and Rue, give me a brains roll.
I'm just talking to Kane. So if you drink this one, it's from the 1930s.
10.
It's
10
10
years
years
ago.
in the future?
10 years ago, they just labeled it 1930 to make it seem fancy. It's a misprint. It's really quite good.
I'm
Nice
drinking
cover, nice
future booze. Just like looking at the label.
Okay. Yeah, what'd you get? Can't hear you.
What'd you get?
Sorry, I think you cut out for a second there. What'd you say?
Yeah, I couldn't hear what you rolled.
Oh,
you said
I'm
it.
sorry. I got a 10.
Okay. All right. Yeah, your detective brain totally plays out how this guy got smacked around, and even up to the heel mark where her one foot went in deeper, so she must have been standing on the one foot while the person was down bleeding out onto the thing. But then you notice that the person does get up and does walk away as you see a couple of spats, droplets exiting.
Just kind of shakes her head a little bit.
Yeah. Back to you, Lilith.
Lilith sits down and she opens a drawer, offers the detective a cigarette.
She'll take it.
She'll take one, offer and lights her own. So, detective, to be quite honest, I didn't expect my letter to work, and I still don't think it did. So you must be here for a very specific reason.
What do you mean exactly? What do you mean it didn't work? Is that thing loaded? What kind of spells did you put on that thing?
I meant that you wouldn't accept my invitation.
Oh. Well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit.
All right.
I wanted to thank you for everything that you did for Hazel.
Oh.
I've thought a lot about it, and ever since the primordial incident, she has never been the same. But even before that, I think that you were about as good an influence as you could have been on her. That you gave her something that nobody else in her life was ever really to give her.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
Well, you're full of surprises, aren't you?
Don't get used to it.
Mm. Well, I'm glad you see it this way. I actually wanted to apologize for what I did to Hazel. You see, I could have definitely, I feel like I could have done more to prevent what happened, but well, uh, I'm glad you see it that way. Detective. I am not good at these conversations, if you haven't noticed. But I did think of Hazel as another child to me. And I loved her very much. I tried to keep her away from trouble. I tried to guide her. But there was certainly something different about her. As well, I wanted to give you this, and she'll open her drawer. There's a small, very lovely wrapped box. And it's about yay big. And she hands it to you.
All right. It's like a little wrapped box.
Yeah, it's about like this. It's a jewelry box.
All right. She'll pop it open.
It's a very pretty silver locket with sunflower reliefs on it. And inside there's a picture of Hazel that Lilith would have taken at some point.
She kind of looks at that for a second, and she gets a little misty-eyed. She shuts that locket, and she shuts that box, and she shoves it in her pocket, kind of unceremoniously. She's like, "It's a very thoughtful gift."
I've lost many in my long yet not so long life, and as much as I've tried to forget some of them, we honor them more by remembering them and who they were to us and what they meant to us. For that,
Rue is like feeling so much guilt right now. Continue.
as well as I would like to extend what I tried to do for Hazel to you in a way. So whatever you need, money, a job, rent, you'll always find whatever you need here. No strings attached. Freely giving.
It's very kind of you. But I don't want anything from you. If anything, you should look after all the people in this town. You know,
I already do.
all the people like you.
I already do. That's.
I mean, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be a part of this anymore, and I understand that that's going to leave kind of a vacuum in. They're going to need somebody to go to for help.
How have you been doing? Why this decision? Why now? I have some ideas, very obvious, but
I've never wanted this. This was kind of thrust upon me. And thanks to this, and she's gonna like pull out a pendant, the pendant that Beltane gave her, and this, and she like pulls out the flask. She's like, I can just leave it behind. I can get what I wanted to begin with.
All right. Say you leave everything behind. No more seeing through the veil, no more magic, no more mystical creatures. What then?
I go do what I would have done if this had never happened. I don't know.
Wishes?
Maybe I'll go back to the force. Maybe I'll start a real detective agency instead of this quack practice I'm running now. Hell, I'll become a mall cop. Malls don't exist. Hell, I'll run
They
security
do.
for the museum, night watchman. I don't care. Go back to selling newspapers on the corner. It was a better life than this.
Will that make you happy?
I'm never happy.
Well, I'm not going to force you to stay or anything. It's your
I'm not
decision.
asking your permission, I'm telling you.
I'm very much well aware. You know, as much as we butted heads, I liked you. You're a very strong woman, and I appreciate that.
She puts that cigarette in her mouth as she heads for the door, and she says, "Yeah, well, that was your mistake." She heads out the door.
Lilith will call out. The invitation stays, if shall you ever need it.
I'll keep that in mind. And she just kind of like gives her like a slight smile over her shoulder, and then she descends the stairs, or I don't know. What's the layout of this place?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
stairs.
No,
goes
just whatever
down
looks really
alone.
cool and cinematic.
Yeah.
And
Descends the stairs.
just cigarette hanging out of your mouth, or did you stop to light it?
We lit it at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is lit, and you're walking through the homestead and down the big opera stairs, and then as Root gets to pauses and hesitates, does this half smile, and then takes those first steps down the opera stairs. We go back to Lilith. We go back. Rue always gets shot all the time. No, no, we're back over in Lilith's a shot of Lilith, and what is her countenance, her visage, her what's the emotion we get from her?
Bittersweet.
Bittersweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Beltane and Kane during this time. What were the two of you just drinking and talking smack?
All right, mister. I have a quick question for you. All right. So, what do you know about squirrels?
The woodland creatures?
Do they knock on people's doors and then fly around a bunch?
That sounds like a creature in disguise.
Yeah, because that's what
wearing a
came to my fucking house telling me to read your goddamn book. Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't send anybody after you. I was just gonna leave the package and let you do with it as out of your own free will.
Okay. I see that. I see what you're doing. However, I tried doing what I would normally do in a situation like this, and you want to know what happened? A squirrel knocked on my goddamn door telling me that I should read the book, and if I didn't want to, that it would read it to me while I was asleep.
Yeah,
Stop
I
talking
would
to
never
the
do that.
squirrels, Beltane.
One, I hate squirrels. They eat my branches. Two, I don't send messengers to do my work for me. Three, What did it look like when you saw?
It had little wingies on it and maybe a stinger. It had a little red face, and it was telling me that this Lucifer fellow had a job for me.
don't
Is that one of
take the
your
job.
many names, Mr. Beltane?
No.
Because you seem like a devil to me.
Ha! Thank you, but no. No.
Then why is it that Lucifer's asking me to read a book that you gave me?
Because that book is a book on summoning.
Why would you give this book to me?
Because you are seeing into our world. This is a basic book of companions. It has my summoning circle in it if you ever need me.
I would never do that. I would never summon you. I would maybe call you like a regular
That's what
person.
summoning is!
No, a phone call is not summoning. It is maybe a summoning with a time delay, incorporated distance so I can get ready in my home for the arrival of a guest. I tried telling the little blighter that he wasn't welcome in my home, and you want to know what happened? Fuck all. So what am I supposed to do now? You send me books. All of a sudden, next thing I know, Lucifer's ringing at my door saying, hey, maybe I got a contract for you. I don't want any of this.
Then put up wards. I gave you a ward book too. Did you look through the books?
No, I tried to throw them in the fire because it's cold.
Why did you try? Okay, you asked
My house
for
is not
things.
well insulated.
You ask for things and I give them to you. That's our partnership.
No, it is not. We do not have a partnership. I have not agreed to anything except for the option of making verbal contracts.
Do you want me to supply you with wood so you can stay warm?
No, I want you to make sure Lucifer's off my goddamn back.
Then I will ward your house for you.
No, get out of here.
What the fuck do you want, Kane?
I don't know.
Okay, and at that, you're coming down the stairs and you hear those raised voices, and I don't know.
I can ward your house. I gave you the sight so you can see into this world.
You
and
did this
you
to
are
me?
in.
You did what the fuck now?
I thought it was her.
I cancelled your sight, gave him the sight. It was a fair exchange. He's a new being and thus falls under the protection of home.
I wish I was deader.
Can I say Lilith walks
And
in
now
like
he's starting to understand.
Sure.
Now he's starting to understand.
You hear the blah, 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 you come downstairs with your heightened vampiric senses, and you walk out, and
What is going on in my house?
Kane has tried to make a contract with Lucifer.
That is not the case. No, sir. No,
I'm
thank
sorry,
you,
who?
ma'am.
Recommend
Lucifer, the only fallen angel in the whole fucking world.
They are trying to make a contract with me, and I said I'll
What?
think about it.
Why are they trying to
What
make
the
a
fuck?
contact with you, Kane?
What?
Why are they talking to you? Why
I
the fuck
don't
are they
know.
talking to you?
The only reason I know of that they are talking to me is because I did not accept a package outside of my house in a timely fashion, so this imp said that it was going to take the package, knock on my door, and try and deliver it to
Lilith
me.
is gonna walk up to him, grab him by the jacket. What are you?
I'm a good guy.
That
You're
is
a
a lie.
dead guy.
What are you?
I have made a few mistakes.
Yes,
I'll
I
admit
can
that.
tell them.
so real quick, Rue, what are you doing? Lilith now has keys by the lapel, and
I'm just kind of like watching this happen, and I'm all like, maybe they'll scare him straight. Maybe he'll finally like. In fact, she'll even like walk up behind him. She's like smoking her cigarette. She's just like, sure does seem like you probably shouldn't have gotten mixed up with these folks, huh?
Look, all I did was try and live a straight and honest life. Next thing I know, this asshole, and he points towards Beltane, is sending me books and cheese in the mail. A squirrel knocks on my door and tells me that gnomes are gonna steal it. So it flies into my house as I'm trying to burn these fucking things so I can stay
No, that's true.
warm
Gnomes
in the
would steal your
winter.
books. Gnomes would definitely steal your books.
Hey,
It definitely would steal your books, yes.
Mm-hmm.
you smell off. You are not human. You are dead. You are not the same dead as I am. You are undead or some part of undead. What are you?
Harker will walk up and just say, "Do you mind?" And she just kind of like pushes Lilith off a little bit. And then she reaches over to Kane, kind of like presents his arm and starts unwrapping it.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! And he's like,
And how did you get that?
I stole something I probably wasn't supposed to. There,
Probably?
are you happy?
So are we thinking like some sort of curse here? Is that the consensus?
It's a curse. It has to be
Yeah, it's just a curse.
Okay, all right, you're cursed.
Oh, I'm glad everyone's on the same fucking page about all of this mess. Yes,
Hold on,
yes,
I'll
so
disappear
there was-
into the next room.
What
Stay
is okay?
there.
So you've got that arm. Curses usually give you something else than a aesthetic problem. What exactly do you?
And he pops
What's
his
wrong with
arm
you?
off and just
Ah!
holds it in one hand, and you
Beltane
see the
comes
hand
back in.
still moving.
Lilith is gonna grab it.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Oh,
That's yeah.
what the fuck?
Can
Okay,
I lend you a
this is
hand,
more-
or can I have it back?
No.
She just has it. She's like, this is more helpful than it is the curse.
And it just like, it twists its hand around and gives you the bird, Lilith.
I'll smack it
Rue
against the
gets
table.
gets kind of a dark. Rue gets a dark look in her eyes. She says, "What are the downsides?"
We'll get the arm back.
And he pops it back in, and Kane says, well, the downside that I have found is that, I can't die. Getting shot
Great.
hurts.
Yeah.
And he'll look around. Does Lilith have anything gold in this sitting room?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He walks
I would
over, and out of spite, he looks for the most expensive looking thing.
I would say
Fabergé egg.
yeah, a Fabergé egg.
He's going to take a knife,
Oh god.
jab himself in the gut,
Ah!
and God!
Christ!
Then he'll take
What
the
are
knife
you?
out, like lift up his shirt so you can see the bleeding knife wound, and then he'll open palm the Fabergé egg.
And absorb all the gold off of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that why you're taking
That's
from
an
my
original.
hoard?
I got it. Oh,
Is this why I'm giving you money from my hoard?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
I got that straight
Ah!
from Gustave Fabergé.
Yeah, he can make you another one. I don't care.
He's
He
dead.
said.
Oh my god! I'm gonna walk up and take that knife and just like throw it away from him. Like,
What?
first of all, don't do it.
Ah.
It's gross.
I might stab him myself.
Oh no.
You don't do that. Second of all,
This
how long
is-
have you been dealing with this?
A while.
A while?
A while.
How long is a
is
while?
Well, I wasn't dealing with it before I left this shit-eating town the last time, but I am now.
So,
When did you leave?
X number of years?
How long? Like what? 6 years at this point that he's
Okay.
kind of been dealing with this. To him, it's no problem. He just consumes gold every once in a while, and he stays beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 6 years, I guess.
Okay.
Jesus, Kane.
Beltane, I don't want this person in my house. You are. You are basically a lich.
Getting stabbed hurts. Why do I
Yes!
do that to
Yeah.
myself to
that.
make a point?
What the fuck, Kane?
Because you're stupid,
I
clearly.
am
Look
very
at his life
unintelligent.
choices.
How did you become a lich?
What did you steal?
I'm not going to tell you.
No, you need to tell us.
It was a watch. Okay? It was a clock. It looked fancy.
Is that the watch I saw the first time I saw you?
No!
Oh,
He
that's
says
your
in a very
You're also-
blatant lie.
You're also a very, very bad liar.
Okay, that
You're
is
a
a lie.
lich.
What clock? Show me the clock.
No. Because you seem fast
Okay.
and you might try and snag it from me. And
I
it's not
wouldn't wanna
here
do-
anyways.
I will not steal your clock. I don't want it. I need to see
no.
it. Show me the clock.
Fine. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a pocket watch that is being held together by very old leather.
Rue, you may make a brains roll also.
Alright. I have abilities related to making a brains roll on an
Yes.
occult thing.
And he just holds up this old pocket watch.
And I'm going to use that ability because I did not roll well.
Nice.
I rolled worse. Actually, I didn't roll worse. It's the same number in a different arrangement. So a 5.
Ooh. All right.
That's a failure, right?
Yes.
All
So
right, I'm
mark,
good.
mark experience and
Yeah.
must be the site. Just looks like a normal old watch to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And you have to remind me, Indoor, where was the watch from?
The watch was from a...
Huh.
Yeah, so the deity is Ha, H-U-H. And as far as like where it originally came from, he had been living in a small town in, I believe, southern Georgia for a while, and then there was a large influx of Egyptian immigrants, so immigrants to the United States. And so in order to make them feel more welcome, the local town put on like this ancient Egypt museum thing. And he thought to himself, ah, yes, the perfect heist. And so he stole it as part of like this other general heisty bit. But in doing so, ended up
With the
gaining...
curse.
Some would call it a curse.
Right.
It's a curse.
It's a curse.
And now he's
Okay.
bound to it.
Okay.
So
we-
for those with the site, this this pocket watch actually looks more like a sand,
Hourglass.
like an hourglass. Yeah, I always want to
Okay.
say sand clock, but I know that's not the name of it.
okay.
It looks like the sands of time.
Oh.
Sounds like the
no.
literal like German translation.
Yeah, exactly.
This is eine sand clock.
The machine that makes the parts to make the other parts to make the thing. Yeah. So I guess Beltane, Lilith, that's, you do see the sands rolling. Even Rue at this point, you haven't been drinking and you didn't use the book technically, and you're not wearing the pendant, so yeah, even you could tell that this
okay.
piece has a sand is sands of time, an hourglass type thing.
I'm kind of looking at that, and I look over at Lilith, and I say, "There anything you can do about that?"
I have no idea.
Point at Belle. Anything you can do?
I can
So-
contact my son. He's overseas at the moment.
And Belle, you know that this is a basically, so like there's nature magic and elemental magic. This is religious magic. This is belief. So
Yeah.
this is kind of out of your wheelhouse. So yeah, so contacting someone else or whatever would probably be the best step.
I
I
know a
mean,
few magical people that might be able to help. I know a witch. I know a wizard.
I know a necromancer in France.
I'm
What
gonna
the
turn around.
hells?
I'm
Oh
gonna
yes,
turn around and look at Kane.
yes. I forgot about him.
I'm gonna turn around and look at Kane. Hey, remember what I said about not messing with these people?
They're the worst.
Yeah, forget what I said. You're gonna have to mess with these
Oh,
people.
god damn it. Why?
Because you're a fucking lich!
Because it's the new
Yeah.
thing that you don't want.
Kane, do you want to be rid of the curse?
No. I am
Okay.
perfectly happy with the way this is. I can look young and beautiful forever, and all I gotta do is steal some gold.
And what happens when you have no more gold to steal?
Oh, that is few and far between. I will find gold, madam.
Only so much gold in the world, Kane.
Only so much gold you can't get into.
Then I'll just find my way to more gold.
Problem for tomorrow, you, isn't it?
Yes, that is a problem for tomorrow.
You
me.
realize you can't break into a fairy horde or a leprechaun horde or
Or
even
a dragon horde.
or a dragon horde or a drower horde because
Quit giving
they
him
all will fucking
ideas.
kill you.
Then I won't deal with them?
No, you're dealing with one right now.
And you want to know what happened? You employed me and sent me gold of your own volition.
Because I was impressed, I thought you were leading something. I thought
This is what I told you about Batal. I told you
I
not to
know.
bring in it. Was I right?
And as such,
Unfortunately-
I can always hire out my services to any of these other fuckos with piles of gold lying
Listen,
around.
If he
Don't
does not
involve
want
the
our
rest
help,
of it.
I will not give him our help. Rue, I suggest you don't involve yourself with him if you're trying to achieve that lifestyle that you are trying to achieve. You don't make a contract with Lucifer. If you fuck up my town, I will fuck you up.
I didn't want to, and the only reason they even reached out was because your boy in blue, Beltane over there, sent me a book on how to summon him.
Beltane, why would
know.
you send him a book on
I
how to
didn't
summon?
No, I sent him a book on how to summon guardian creatures, not
Where's the book?
the devil.
And he-
Where's the book?
Where's the book?
Kane points to a rather charred-looking book on summoning.
Why
I
don't
am
you try
taking
to
the
burn
book.
it? You've lost your book permissions.
I never wanted book permissions.
We were trying to help you because you are a new creature in our territory. That's the right of home that we give to you, and you are a fucking lich.
We will not offer our help if you do not want our help. We will not give you our help. Don't do anything that will make us want to hurt you even more.
Done?
Unfortunately, under the old laws, we have to give him protection for a year.
If he breaks those laws, then I don't have to give him any protection. And by the looks of him, he'll probably break it sometime soon.
Probably
That
tomorrow.
is a loaded sentence.
You are a loaded person.
Not really. I gotta consume a lot of wealth to stay this good looking.
Oh dear.
That good looking.
And he gives you a wink and a crooked smile, and you can see that one of his teeth is missing.
Gross. Don't ever do that again.
I'll contact my son overseas to see what he can give us. Just to advise you, Kane, you don't need to do anything else, but you need to learn what you are to contain and control it.
I know exactly what I am.
You didn't even know you were a lich.
That's because that is your people's word. What I am is handsome and talented.
You're part of our world. You realize that.
All right, and because we're crunched for time, and I would want to get to a specific spot.
Of course.
Rue, are you going to complete the like? Are you going to read the book and put on the pendant? And
I need to ask Belle if it's permanent.
Belle's just ranting at this point because he's angry at Cade for even
Give him
going
time.
on.
He'll regret it like everything else he does. She
Oh no.
yanks Beltane aside.
Oh, okay. What are we doing?
Don't leave me alone with him.
She gets out the pendant. She shows it to him.
Oh, you got it.
Is this thing permanent?
Can be. You can transfer this mark onto your body with a tattoo and be a permanent thing if you wish.
Cool. Belle, you know how I am with commitment. Every time I commit to something, someone dies. So
You're surrounded by 3 dead people. Well, 2 dead people and a person who can't really die.
So he really is dead. She just kind of looks over at Kane.
He's a lich. Yes, he's quite dead.
So everyone then.
I'm still living.
Ouch!
I'm
Everyone in
very
Rue's
much
life is
alive.
dead.
In fact, your humanity hurts a lot in me. A lot. But it's a process. But I'm very much alive. Unless you take his iron sword to my neck, don't do that. I'd be very mad.
Well, don't give me a reason to.
I hope I haven't.
Punches him on the shoulder. And she looks down at that pendant, and she says, How do you turn it off?
Just put it down.
All right, she just she nods, and she's going to close her hand over the pendant, and she's going to open up herself to its magics.
You put
Beltane
it on-
steps back and says, Good working with you.
and
You're my favorite human this century.
Once again, she just smiles up at Belle and says, That was your mistake.
And when you put it on, boom, the sight's gone. I'm gonna say you've got that feeling that, okay, I knew about this stuff. Do you want to retain your memory as a character of all that's happened, or do you want it to fade over time?
I want to say that like she remembers it as kind of like a dream, but she can cut off that memory just about as much as she allows it, and perhaps over time she loses more and more control of that.
Yeah, sort of the Fey, living in a Fey realm, just sort of losing the memories of the past, sort of deal. Okay.
One more thing. As she puts it on, Beltane will just kind of lean forward and kiss the top of her head and say, Harry was a good man, before he steps back.
She doesn't say anything because she doesn't want to show weakness in front of other people.
All right, and while their aside happened, Kane, Lilith, any resolution between the two of you?
Oh God,
I don't
no.
like this person. No.
Okay, all right. Then
Just stop coming into my house. Who keeps letting you into my home?
You got all sorts of people outside, and every time I show up, they say, Miss Lilith will see you shortly, and open up the door for me.
Well, then I make sure they don't open that door for you.
So, the awkwardness continues. Rue, you finish with Beltane. You turn to Kane and kind of like, let's just go, sort of thing. You guys leave. Lilith, I'm gonna say this, and if you want to change it, I'll just run us through a bit, and bits and details, you let me know. Lilith, you kind of give Kane the stink eye. Kane, you're just glad at this point to be walking out the door alive or not in pieces.
I'm walking out the door feeling jazzy.
Yeah, and so we're gonna we'll leave Beltane and Lilith. Lilith, kind of an eye roll kind of situation at Beltane, like what the hell? Just that sort of, I'm not upset, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, that's exactly what
okay,
it is.
perfect. And we get that scene in the foyer, and we pull away. We've got the cabbie who's been just sitting there because there would be no other fares, and now as Rue is approaching the car, she just sees a big burly cabbie guy sitting there still smoking away, and then and as the two of you talk back and forth, we get that different perspective. Every time it switches to the other one, the cabbie changes, so he's filling the space and becoming a normal person back and forth on the ride home.
Do we all look human to Harker?
Yeah. You get to Kane's house. Kane, it's sort of this sort of soft montage where you get down a blanket and maybe a pillow or whatever for Rue. She scrunches in on the love seat. And Kane, do you then like turn out the lights and go to
I close the flue of the fireplace.
Okay.
If
all right.
as long as there's no like smoke coming up, like if I can just make sure that no goddamn imps are gonna come through my chimney while I'm asleep, that is very preferable.
You do know you have a book of wards and you were offered to put wards, but you have a feeling even closing the flue would not do it. You can't do that and not freeze to death. That's the difference. So
then I'll leave the flue open. I'll keep the fireplace going, but
okay.
I feel like, if anything, the last scene for Kane is Rue's asleep, and then Kane like creeps up into his attic, and there's like a bunch of boxes and other things that have been obviously stowed up there. And the last thing that he goes to is a case for an instrument that definitely has a decent layer of dust over it, and it's just him cracking it open, and it is, what did Rue play? A clarinet?
I'm gonna change it actually. She played a bass, like a big old upright bass.
Okay, so it is Kane opening up this large case that has an old standing bass in it.
Okay, so we're gonna rewind just a touch. When you close the flue on the fire and you realize that the smoke's gonna asphyxiate you guys during the night, you crack it as little as possible, and when you turn around, the imp is sitting on the top of the piano, and and it's got one of your cigarettes, so it's huge. It's like,
yeah,
like this.
It looks like it's holding a baseball bat in its fingers.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes a long draw off of it. Like, there's like a couple inches of ash, and it. Well, I tried to tell you, you should do business with my boss. And as it blows the smoke out, the red, it like lit up when the ash was going, and then it blows the smoke out and it gets dark, and the imp disappears, and you kind of half question yourself, like, was that real or not? And you go climb up the little fold down ladder into the attic way. You climb up there, and as because it disappeared, and you go up and you open the cello case, and when you open the cello case, you look at that, and then go down to Sleepy Rue, and we hear, "He'll be here for you sometime." The imp is actually whispering at Rue in her dreams. And that's where I want to leave off.
Yuck, I hate it. Thank you, GB. Thank you for running this game. I love this game. I love our sessions. These are fun. I enjoy what we do here. Hey, Graybeard, where can we find you? What do you do?
Graybeard Tavern. You can find me on the Twitter. And tomorrow is my Thursdays at 4 p.m. I'm on season 2 of Encounter Roleplay, Death's Curio. The new trailer comes out tomorrow, and oh my goodness, I'm in love with this new trailer. So I will tweet it out tomorrow. But after that, I got Damn It Barry on Friday, and then on Sunday I'm playing in a charity meat grinder adventure over on Encounter Roleplay for charity for the wildfires in Australia. That's at I think at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Encounter Roleplay. Please, come help out. Just give us support. Bump the tweet, that kind of thing. Other than that, I'll be back next Tuesday here as Krog Gorblast, and so on and so forth. Check the Twitter.
Excellent. And Satan, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Satan, and you can find me on Twitter at AlyssAVamp. I play lots of games. I play a game once a month, every Wednesday on this channel, playing Lilith with these beautiful, beautiful people. I play a game on Saturday nights over at Plot Hunters, which is my main show. We're an all POC LGBTQ plus cast, so if you wanna support those spaces, come watch us, come subscribe, come follow. We do real good. I'm a buff barbarian babe, and I hit a lot of things. Um, on Sunday mornings at 8:30 EST AM, Sunday mornings, I run my own show, my own D&D game over at the Hype Goblins channel, where I take Jen, Sarah, Emma, and various other guests like the beautiful GB, who was on my on the channel for the last couple episodes. And we play through a homebrew world, and our characters just came back from a couple of one-shot adventures, and we'll see what happens.
And you're in Damn It Barry's
And I
Friday
am in
night
Damn and
with-
Barry's Friday. I
with me
forget
and
things.
LB and
Yes, with
and
GB
Lazy
and
Bones.
LB and Lazy Bones, and I play with so many amazing people, and I love it.
Yes.
Danaekina at Danaekina.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com.
I guess, yeah, speaking of which, hi, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can find me here on Mondays and Tuesdays playing in both games. And I think that's about it. Yeah, DanaeKeener.com.
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at LaughMakerDND, and I'm over in Satan's Game every Sunday, 1:30 British Standard Time, because different country. And every other Thursday, I'm over at the Loudridge channel, running my homebrew world, the world of Ashenvale, and dealing with the consequences of why players shouldn't touch things when the DM clearly says don't touch things, but that's fine. They're having fun. It's fun. And every once a month, I'm here playing with all these fabulous people, so it'll be great to see them again next month. And I also play Overwatch with some of these people as well. If you want to come see us over at Hype Goblins channel or RJ's channel, and whoever's running it, we're playing there too. So that's me in a nutshell. Danae Keener, DanaeKeener.com.
We should all really get shirts that say Danaekina at Danaekina.com.
Get them ready for Gen Con. We will all wear them. And hello, everybody. If you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey, fella, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this Monday, Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time All of our videos go to a YouTube under the same moniker where you can catch up on all of our VODs as well as podcasts anywhere podcasts are available for free. We also have a Patreon set up, so if you would like to help support the show and continue to help make it self-sustaining, consider going to patreon.com/IndoorAdventures. It's really appreciated that I don't have to pay for Adobe every month and that you guys are helping me out with this, because all of the production value of the show literally is either on me or with your guys' help. So thank you for helping. And we, I think that's it. That's it for my spiel. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, GB, for running such a wonderful game. Thank you to these players for putting up with our bullshit once again this week. And we will see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. DanaeKeener.com!
DanaeKeener.com!